All right, how's it going, everybody? We are back here with Chris Bartl from Bayside Barbell.
Hello.
Chris, what's going on today?
Well, in the last installment, we talked about a reverse lunge, and I made a comment about another version of a lunge that you can do as kind of a dynamic mobility or a dynamic stretching exercise if you're really tight in your groin area, and that's called a lateral lunge. Now, so in the last movement, or in the last installment we were talking about with Jesse, is when you do a reverse lunge, if your leg comes behind you, that means you're really tight on the interior part of your leg. It's probably something that could be stretched. Now, static stretching, for all intents and purposes, is great, but it's boring. It's like watching paint dry. So in order to make it a little bit more dynamic, make it, so you're actually doing something, using some more muscle and creating a little bit more of a caloric burn, we're going to make this an actual movement. Okay. So what I want you to do is go ahead and face the camera, and I want your feet really wide as you can. Okay? Now, all you're going to do is you're going to bend your left knee and shift off to your side, off to your left-hand side, and keep that right leg as straight as possible. Okay? You're going to come down as low as you can, right about there, and then go ahead and stand up. Okay, and you're going to do that again. Do that two more times on this side, and then we'll do 3 times the other way. Now, I'll have Jesse turn to the side so you can see what he's doing, but he's actually doing a really good thing. What he's doing on his first movement is he's pushing his butt back. That's going to be the key thing to this movement. If you keep your butt underneath you, your knee is going to want to travel forward, and then all of a sudden we're just not in a very good position to do what we really want to do. Okay? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is shoot your butt back. Think about keeping your shin as vertical as you can. The more you can push your butt back, the bigger the stretch, and the more you're going to feel it on the inside of your leg. Why don't you go ahead and turn and face me and do 3 more on each side so everyone can kind of see what we're talking about with the butt. So remember, push your butt back, come off to the side. Good. Now notice Jesse's coming forward a little bit with his upper body. That's totally okay. We don't want his shoulders coming way over his toes like that. That's no bueno. So when he pushes back, go ahead and let's come the other way. Okay? So when he pushes back, notice, hold right there. Notice he's still tall in the chest like we had in that last segment. He's pushing his butt back, but he's still elongated here. Slight forward lean, which is okay. That's what we want. Okay? We don't want you so straight up and down that way where you fall backwards. Okay, and you don't want to be so far forward that you're just hinging and all of a sudden you're messing up your back. Okay, so that's phase 1. That's going to be the static stretch. Now, go ahead and turn and face the camera again, Jesse. Now we're going to make this an actual movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to start all the way over next to me, way on the far side of the camera, feet together, take a big step out with your right foot and do the same movement you just did, and then drive off that right foot and come back towards me. Bam. Now reset, go all the way out again. Good. And come back. Now notice Jesse's not purposely going down too deep. You don't need to go deep with this. You want to go right to where you feel that stretch in the groin. I'm going to go ahead and switch with you, Jesse, so we can come on to the other side. Okay, so let's go this way. You don't really need to get super deep with this, okay? If you get too deep, you're going to overstretch the muscle, and then you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to wonder why you can't walk very well, and you're going to look funny. So what I always like to tell people when clients when we're first starting this is go until you feel that slight stretch and then take it about 1 degree deeper and then push back.
Yeah, you can feel a really, really strong stretch there.
Yep.
And to the point where if you feel like you go any further, it's going to be too much.
Yep. Yep. So, and notice how when he comes out, he's landing soft and he's really pushing off on that leg. That's how you can get some good, build some good lateral strength. Remember, the hip joint is a 360-degree joint. It moves in all directions, so it needs to be trained in all directions. You don't want to stick with a one plane movement like a forward or a reverse lunge. You want to throw in some side-to-side lateral lunges. You want to throw in a diagonal lunge. You want to throw in Cossack squats, which we'll talk about here in a second. You got to train the hip the way it's designed to be moved, which is in 360 degrees. Okay.
That was great, Chris. So same thing like we talked about before with the reverse lunges is the lateral lunge is portable. You could do it when you're out walking, and if you walk for, I think the example we used in the last segment was talking about going for a 20-minute walk, and every 5 minutes you stop and you do 10 reps. Do 10 reps on each side, go for another 5 minutes, do another 10 reps on each side. It's a great way to get some extra movement in there, to get some strength training in. And as Chris said, it's so important to work different ranges of motion, right? The hip is a very, very diverse part of your body. It has 360 degrees of motion in it, so you need to work those additional ranges of motion with it too. not just a forward motion, which most of us do, but do some lateral, do some backward step, do all sorts of twisties and turnies and whatnot too. And the biggest benefit of this all is your tushy will tighten and the world will thank you.
Kim Kardashian will hate you.
Kim Kardashian. Awesome, Chris. Thanks so much, buddy.
You got it, bud.